what's up, North County? I'm your host, Randy Doty, and today we have two very special guests here. We have Keith Swank with Kennedy Club Fitness, and we have Macie Gordon, professional, soon-to-be professional drag racing, funny, top fuel, top everything.
Yes, yep, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, it's awesome. So we're excited to have you here again. It's been this will be the third time now.
Yep, I can see my name, my signature on the door.
Well, yeah, we'll have to update that. We'll definitely have to update that.
I've never been asked.
Oh, what?
We'll get you, Keith. One day when you do something very special, we'll get you on it.
Personally,
I
we
think
know
you made
somebody.
your point already. It's like my 10th time here, and I'm still not on the door.
That's awesome. Well, Keith, let me first start with you. So 44 years, Kennedy Club Fitness.
Yeah, it's actually pretty amazing, and I've been there for 8 or 9 years now. But like each year, you kind of see that number because October is our anniversary month. We celebrate, and it's just to see that number grow since I've been there, and obviously it's been over 44 years. Very few businesses can last that long. So it's quite an accomplishment, and we don't see an end in sight. We're going strong.
Well, it's interesting to know where they started. Just a little small place in Atascadero. It was I believe it was a college kind of a concept.
Yeah,
right.
Kevin Kennedy with his Cal Poly senior project thing was a health club. So he started right there. I think if I remember right, the stories, he had a little 2,500 square footish building right there by Glenn's Auto Repair or Mower Repair in Atascadero, and 44 years later, this is what he has. 3 big clubs.
How do you guys stay relevant to the times of the small $10, $20? You know what I'm saying? As far as the other gyms, you guys 44 years is quite a longevity in health club.
Yeah, I think Kevin had a concept when he started, and I don't want to use catchphrase and stuff, but kind of community. That's a big thing for us. Something besides you're just going to go and work out. And we have that, and that's what most people actually do. But and because you've been in the clubs, you have people that come in there. I have people come in there on a laptop and do their schoolwork. And people play ping pong, and people that visit with their friends, and people come in there and work out. People swim. We have so many things. And I think we're pretty good at most of them. So we have all those things to offer. So I think that has kept them relevant for this long.
And you have trainers, right?
Yeah.
So somebody like Maddie can come in there and hire a trainer to help out, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And that's what we see in the industry. We prefer people do that. When you join, we'll give you a free session with the trainer. Sometimes it develops into 2. Some people will buy training after that if it's someone they want to work with. Maybe not, but the attrition in the industry is really high because too many people will join and they really don't know what to do, so they might overdo it, or maybe they get injured, things like that, and then they don't want to continue. So if someone joins, we'd love to have them have a session with the trainer, at least, because there's a lot of people come in that don't even know how to use equipment. But they want to get started somehow. They just don't know how. And a lot of people are kind of almost, I don't want to say embarrassed, but they don't want to ask either. So when we join, we try to make sure we mention that. I actually follow up with a lot of them on texts myself when we join, a couple weeks later. Hey, don't forget to schedule that session.
But you also have, not only do you have the equipment, but you also have obviously the pool, you have the hot tub, you have the full everything. But then you also have, you kind of went into the whole infrared saunas, massagers.
Yeah, that's an industry thing. That's a kind of a worldwide thing, to be honest. And our industry obviously fits that really well. We have the infrared sauna. We have massage chairs. We have our Sunless Club has a frost room. I think it's the right terminology for it now.
Oh, really?
Go and stand in there for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, depending on your
the cryo.
Yeah, it's not really that. It's a room. It's kind of like the infrared sauna rooms, a little bit bigger, but it is kind of like that. It's a cryo, but so cold, hot. You can go back and forth and say massage chairs, or in Paso, or actually I think Tasco too. They have one too. We have the hydro lounge that's hot and cold, so you can put cold on your back and hot on your calves, or hot on your shoulders and put a cold wrap on your elbow. But I think technology and it's really starting to understand the recovery part of exercise, and how much quicker you can recover. If you can recover quick, you can work out harder. You can work out more frequently. So it really ties the industry more.
Now, do you guys have specials going on this month because it's your 44-year anniversary?
Yeah, we'll have a joint special like the first 10 days. So we have a few days left right now. We do the same thing every year, whatever your anniversary is. This year's 44. You just join for $44, and then in November your dues start. So it's our least expensive month to join.
So Maddi, I see you a lot downstairs. So you have or they have a, I don't know, is it called is it a CrossFit?
I call it training court.
Okay.
Our training court.
But I see you a lot down there. Mm-hmm. How come you're down there more so than upstairs?
For me, it just depends on what I have going on that week. So it depends on if I'm traveling that week or if I'm home that week, if we're racing, if we're not, if it's my racing or if it's Macie and my dad's racing. Because for me, I do all the clutch work on our car, then I also drive it. And especially with the funny car that I do drive, the handbrake is harder to pull, the clutch is harder to push. So if I wear out my muscles and, train super hard on my legs that day, and then I go out and drive the next day, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tougher, as opposed to, if it's a race week, then I'll go down on the training court and I'll do like more agility type stuff, like more ladders, or I'll push the sled it is, and do that some more. So do more like agility and I guess endurance training, as opposed to like focusing on one muscle group at a time.
Is that what that part down there is more designed for, that kind of stuff, Keith?
Yeah, I don't want to say it's designed for it, but the ability to do that, the equipment we have down there and the open space, and some of the things Maddi mentioned, the sled, things like that. It's the only place we have it in the club is down there. But yeah, that's kind of the idea of it. It's in Maddi's words at the end, it's endurance. It's situated a little bit more for that. If someone wanted to use it as that. And with what she's doing with her driving and stuff, that's something we talked about with her working out, is she basically wanted to make sure endurance is really good for those long weekends.
So when you're working out, you're not obviously working out to gain muscle or anything like that. It's more of the elasticity of the muscles and the strength. Basically,
yeah, because starting in 2020 was when me and my sister started working on the funny car, and our team is my grandma, my grandpa, my mom, my dad, my sister, and I. At the time, my dad was driving. So somebody's got to lift the body when, after a run, before a run, someone's got to carry the starter. And, my dad's the strongest one, but he's in the car. So we had to figure out how to make it work, and we weren't strong enough. So we went to the gym. We got stronger and maintained that a level of strength. So at this point, I have the strength to, lift the blower off the car, push the clutch in, hold the handbrake and stuff. So it's more maintaining that. And I'm not trying to get super big and bulky or anything like that. But my main thing I'm trying to do is achieve endurance throughout the weekend. Because if it's a great weekend, then I have an hour of service after every run. If it's not a good weekend, we could be tearing apart motors. We could be, I'm tearing the clutch out no matter what, but taking the motor off multiple times, pulling the heads off, and they're really heavy. And after doing that and then jumping in the race car, and you got to have the same endurance no matter what. You got to have the same strength, and you got to be just as upbeat every single time. It doesn't matter if you pull the heads off no matter what. The other guy doesn't care about that. You got to be just as good every time. So going to Kennedy has really, really helped me keep up that stamina throughout the weekend, because prior to going to Kennedy, I would be pretty worn down by the end of the weekend if it was a long weekend. But now I can keep my stamina up throughout the weekend, so I'm not getting tired when it comes to hopefully making it to the final round.
Do you use the K-Zone also?
I need to use it more, because like Keith said, recovery is so important, and for me it really is super important, because if I can work out hard and recover quicker, then I can train harder on those certain body parts and stuff like that to like, we're on a race week, I could train harder than I do if I did more recovery stuff like they do have. So that's something I will be looking into more. Every time I pass by like the red infrared, I don't know what it's called, and then the massage chairs, I'm like, I really should do that, but okay, I got to get back to, I got a bunch of stuff to do at home, but I really should spend the time and do it because I think it would be very beneficial.
Keith, did you put together something for her based on what she does?
A little bit. I mean, we talked a fair amount when she started, because she came in the club before and passed and had a membership there and used it, but hadn't been in a while. But she came to me basically, it's what we were just talking about. Does she want to build her endurance up? Because those long weekends, and I have an idea of what she's going to be doing, what she does now and what she's going to do in the future. So she's going to travel a lot. She's going to be really busy. You might be staying in a motorhome, you might be staying in a hotel. Meals aren't going to be as steady and easy to get a healthy meal.
Yeah.
So we put a lot of effort into, talking about that and what exercises she could do and how she could build that stamina that she's looking for, and something she can actually do. Because, you get, what I want to see her do, and she's a very dedicated person no matter what she does, but get kind of addicted to it. So when, she might be back east at a race and maybe she's in a hotel, or even a race team motorhome or something, that she can grab a band or maybe some light dumbbells and do 10 or 15 minutes worth of workout. So we try to kind of do everything that I work with her. She probably gets tired of hearing me saying it. You could do this in a hotel room, because that's what I'm thinking, because I think it's great for what she does, but if it's not set up where she can do it with her lifestyle, then she's going to fade off of it.
Were you worried about gaining muscle? I mean, a lot of women are they fear going to the gym and using weights, that they're going to become this. Like Keith, you're going to look like that, after you work out.
I don't think she's going to have a gray or go skinny, but
I didn't fear it in a sense because, I don't want to look like a body, nothing against bodybuilders, but that's just not, how I look in, for instance, or if I did look like a bodybuilder, then I wouldn't fit in my fire suit, and my grandpa would be like, all right, you got to lay out the gym. No more of that. But
close the car down when you weigh more.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. But I wouldn't say I worried about it too much. Honestly, the thing I worried about most was getting hurt, just because, you don't want to work out too hard and then injure yourself. But what's really cool about Kennedy and, working with Keith and stuff, and I'm sure all the other physical trainers will help out with that, is kind of learning your limits and learning how to not push yourself too hard, but push yourself a good amount so you're actually gaining muscle and stuff. And, working with Keith, he taught me how many reps I should be doing. If you want to, gain and get bulky, this is the reps you probably are going to be doing it. If you want to just, increase your stamina and, gain a little bit of muscle mass but not much, then this is what you should be doing. So, I've always been an active person, as a kid and stuff like that. And I always felt like I was in good shape, but going to Kennedy, it can be, you think it's intimidating to go into a gym, with all these people that look super big and stuff, but Kennedy, it's honestly super welcoming. And like you said, you have, the opportunity to meet with a trainer and get more information. If you don't know what you're doing and you're worried you're going to get hurt, you meet with somebody and talk to them, and they can teach you the right ways to work out, so you don't get injured and you do gain the amount of muscle that you want to gain.
And I think that's probably why Kennedy's sustained over the years.
Well, I was going to say, it kind of goes back to your point of being relevant, or staying kind of front and center with the community. We do have bodybuilders that work out in the club. We have elderly people who are just trying to maintain their balance and improve their agility and balance. So, we had a member about a year ago write a nice letter about one of our trainers, because she has a little ranch, she takes care of herself, and she can go out without her cane now. These kind of things, because she's got her balance back, all those kind of things. And then you have someone like Maddi, who's, she's an athletic person, and she's doing something that is very strenuous, mentally and physically both. So she has a different reason to be in the club. You have a bodybuilder, you have someone like Maddi trying to build their endurance and strength. You have an older person who wants to try to keep their balance. And I think we do a good job of having opportunities for all those kind of people.
Do you notice a big difference from being more consistent now versus, say, a year ago?
I do, and it's actually very exciting. I didn't even tell you yet. But we went out to the lake on Saturday, and prior to going to Kennedy, like years before, I had worked on like specifically pull-ups. I just wanted to do pull-ups, and I did like 5 dead hang pull-ups, and I was like super excited. Well, I kind of weaned off that, and when I went back to Kennedy, I couldn't actually do 1 pull-up. I could do a lot of push-ups and stuff, but like my back just wasn't very strong. I did 4 pull-ups at the lake the other day, so I was so excited.
Why are you working out at the lake?
Well, because see, now you're calling me out.
We had a wakeboard tower you're using?
That's
what
why,
I
but
figured.
I was super busy and didn't get into the gym as many times as I wanted, so I like pretended that maybe my doing pull-ups at the lake was like my workout for the day. And on our wakeboard tower, I did 4 pull-ups, and I was so excited. And then what else I noticed too was I have like a certain, like when I look in the mirror in the morning, I know, okay, I'm 2 pounds heavy, or I'm 3 pounds heavy, 5, whatever it is. I just know how I'm supposed to look. Well, I, looked in the mirror the other day, and I'm like, oh, like, yeah, like I'm at a good weight. I'm probably, well, I'll just say it. Like 120 is like my like good weight, right? Well, I go and I walk over to the scale, and I'm like, 126? What? And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Like, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like I've just gained some muscle.
You probably have, yeah.
Okay, maybe not 6 pounds. Maybe I'm like a little off on that. But I've gained some muscle, but I still, I look like I want to be, even though I've gained some muscle. So, the scale reads a little higher now. But
have you done that in body that Kennedy has?
No.
The testing for the muscles and the water weight and that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
So you can tell different, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. So, it's called the in-body scan. There could be different names. There's different units in the industry, and they've become very, very elaborate, to be honest, right now. But ours is still fairly basic. But it looks like a scale you stand on, and you have probes that come out, you hold, and it's pretty accurate. So it'll measures your symmetry. So like your left leg to your right leg, torso, lower half, bottom half, how much water content you have, how much muscle mass you have, how much fat percent you have, those kind of things. And it is pretty accurate. I'm sure it's not perfect, but the main thing with that is to do it consistently. So it might be, maybe you do it every 3 months, maybe you do it once a month, depends on what you're doing. We'll have people that are in bodybuilding shows that, the last few weeks when they're in their cut before they're going on stage, they're tracking everything a lot, so that they might want to get on it every few days. But the big thing, whether you're Maddie or me or you or either one, if you're trying to achieve something, and Maddie's gonna be a little different because she's not trying to put muscle on her, but she's going to, by getting stronger, she's going to get a little more muscle on her. But you can gauge it. So, every time you go in, it goes under your ID is your phone number. So you just put that information in. Again, it'll knows last time you're in, and it'll graph the bottom. So it'll graph your muscle content, your body fat content, and your weight, so you can see where it's going. After you come in 4 or 5 times, you'll see the line, and for most people, it's lose weight, gain muscle. And when you're doing that, you're probably going to lose some body fat. So you're kind of looking for that. Maybe someone's not, but that's kind of the norm for most people.
How much does nutrition play into your racing?
I should focus more on nutrition, if I'm being honest. It's really hard because we have like a big, Papa's so cute. He has like this tray of like chips, cookies, pastries, all this yummy stuff.
All the stuff that you're probably not supposed to be eating.
Yeah, right. Don't listen, Keith.
Well, you can get that right before you go to get in the car. It gets you through.
Yeah,
you just got to have a 20-minute sugar rush.
Yeah, but I would say, it does play, into a certain extent. I would say it plays into it less in the sport I do as opposed to like back when I was playing softball or volleyball and stuff like that. But, I definitely see, for me, as far as like honestly when I eat is most important to me at the races, because if I'm going out to race, if I'm going out to drive in a half hour, I'm not going to mow down a lasagna, I'm not, I might have an apple or something like that, and then when I get back I might eat. So the time I eat is most important for me as a driver, and as a crew member honestly too. It just depends. Like with our sport, you never know. You could go down the racetrack and everything's fine, or you could go down the racetrack, blow the engine up, and you got 4 hours of work to do when you thought you had a 45 minutes. And that works hard work. You're lifting engines and blowers and all that kind of stuff. But I probably should pay more attention to the nutrition. And I notice it more at home. I do, when I'm at home, we try to eat really healthy as a family. And I really do try to stick to a good diet at home, but sometimes I get a little off kilter at the races.
Well, we talked to your dad before, and I mean, he's very strict on his eating. I mean, he lost a bunch of weight, you know, just to be fit, and I presume just be lighter in the car.
It's exactly what it is, and like at home is when we're very strict. Like we eat chicken, rice, and broccoli, and like at least a couple times a week, and then our unhealthy meal is spaghetti and bread and a salad.
Oh.
And
Who doesn't like that?
Right? That's like the unhealthy because we have a lot of carbs and stuff. So we really at home is when we go back to eating really healthy. So when we have a couple weeks on the road, we're all like, we gotta really reel it in. But at the races, that's kind of like our time to, I want to say, enjoy ourselves, and we go out to eat and we kind of eat what we want. But back home, we really try to focus on eating better, because weight is really, really important on the race car. Where you put it, where you place it, how you place it. So for me, as a light driver, it gives us a lot of versatility as to where we can put that weight. So it is a tuning advantage. And my dad is one of the lighter weight drivers as it is. So with him, we already have that advantage over some people. And then with me, it's a little bit, sometimes at first we're like, oh my gosh, it's about a 40-pound difference. And so
from you to your dad?
From me to my dad. So at first we're like, oh gosh, where are we gonna put this at? But we found some spots and we've been able to actually move it around for tune-up purposes, which has been very beneficial, we think.
What does that mean? You had to kind of modify the car for the weight to...
So the car stayed the same, but the places we put the weight is just different. So as opposed to obviously where most or a main amount of the weight difference is probably from here up, our legs are, maybe, I don't know, a couple pounds different or something. But so now and I sit basically right over the rear axle for the most part. So now you have 40 pounds that's no longer over the rear axle. And with people that are way smarter than me, the geometrics and whatever they call that, the physics of how that affects the race car when you hit the gas and how it hits the tire differently with that weight change is pretty massive.
So it can affect the traction.
It affects the traction. Yeah, exactly. So we actually struggled a lot with it in the beginning of the year, trying to get that weight properly put back in the right spot, because you can't put it in the same spot. It's impossible. You can't strap it to me. That'd be very illegal. So we have different spots that we placed it around me, and different areas in the front of the race car and all sorts of spots to try and replicate how it was with my dad. And even sometimes we think we made things a little bit better placed with me as a light driver.
So I want to segue into the racing. So you started off in junior drags, you and your sister, and then you were operating mechanics. You guys were a full race team, the Gordons, obviously, family team. Your papa kind of started this whole quest, so to speak. Your dad took over based on a last shot. This is your last year, go ahead, and he had success. And so he decided to keep going with it.
Yeah, basically that's what it was. My dad was always really involved and loved it as a kid, and my family owns Moore Bay Cabinets here, local cabinet shop. We've been in business 51 years this year.
Oh, congrats.
And yeah, so we're super happy about that. But back in, I believe it was 2008 when the economy crashed. I think that's when it was. Basically, Moore Bay Cabinets, wasn't doing very well, and my papa, his number one priority is Moore Bay Cabinets. He's like, if Moore Bay Cabinets isn't doing good, then we stop and we focus on business. And it wasn't doing very good, and they didn't know what they were gonna do. So, but they wanted to give my dad a shot because he had put so much time and effort into this race car. So they said, hey, we're basically gonna give you 1 year to drive this car because we think we're probably gonna have to sell it. And my dad did so good that my grandma and my grandpa said, you know what? We don't care what it takes. we're not selling this race car. Like, if we got to park it and wait until, Morbid Cabinets is doing better, then so be it. But we're not letting this go. Like, you're too good of a driver. And 30 years later, still driving. Won 3 world championships, and I believe it was 7 regional championships. And then we won the world championship in 2023. And then that's when him and my dad and my grandma and my grandpa let me drive the funny car.
Tell me what that was like when they asked you if you wanted to.
So it was like, as a young kid, I always wanted to drive a funny car. Like, he's like, ever since I could remember, I didn't know what kind of regular car I wanted to drive. I didn't know what I wanted to do for a job, but all I knew is I wanted to drag race and I wanted to drive an alcohol funny car. And it's just what I had my heart set on for my life. But it was like a dream, but never something I thought was going to be achievable, because I've never driven all the cars in drag racing, so I don't know. But they do say the alcohol funny car is the hardest car to drive in the NHRA. So, I want to drive it, but it's like, can I really do it? Like, I don't know. And, it's a lot of pressure and hard work and stuff. And as we started working on the race car, I started, showing more interest in driving and paying attention to, my dad driving and what he does and asking a bunch of questions. And it was 2022. Yeah, 2022. When they asked me, are you serious about driving? You want to drive this race car? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm serious. Oh yeah, I really want to. And they're like, okay, well, and then they kind of talked about it. And my grandpa, he's getting older. He's in great shape, but he is, he's getting a little older, and he's like, like, Doug, you drive so good right now. Like, we're winning world championships. Do you really want to get out of the seat right now for Maddie? Like, do you really want to do that? And he's like, yeah, I want to give her a shot. And the reason that they gave me a shot so young is because I am a girl, and eventually I do want to have a family. Not anytime soon, but, years and years down the road. And my dad didn't want me to get a shot, when I'm 30 and then want to have kids around that time or something like that. So they gave me a shot, and I tell you what, I wasn't all rainbows and butterflies right away. I didn't do amazing right away, and people might think, oh, I have a family team, so everybody's probably easy on her. No, it was pretty tough love in the beginning when I first started and made a couple mistakes. But once they saw, my passion and my drive for it, they knew that, I'm going to do everything in my power to be the best that I can, and with their help, of course. But
so you took over in the driver's seat 2 years ago, right? This is
my
your second year.
Yeah.
So, and you had a pretty good successful first year, I would say.
Yes. Yeah. We compete in the for a world championship. We run enough races to compete for a world championship and a regional championship. So a regional championship is this west region of the United States, and then the world championship is across the whole United States. Plus, we do have some foreign drivers that come in and race as well. And we ended up finishing number 2 in the world and won the region championship. So we were super excited coming into my first year. We were hoping to be top 5. That was our goal, and to finish number 2 and win the region was just beyond what we expected, what we wanted. So it was.
So you didn't really expect that?
No, no, definitely not. They're really tough. Everyone thinks, oh, they just drive it straight. No, these funny cars, they want to go anywhere but straight. Like, sometimes they get out of the car, and it's so funny because I'm usually a ball of fire and just say random stuff when I get out of the race car. But sometimes I feel like a sprint car goes straighter than this funny car. I'm just like, I don't know how a car wants to go so crazy sometimes, but that's the beauty of alcohol funny car. You're shifting. It's got a 3-speed transmission, so I'm shifting it twice. I've got a handbrake, I've got a clutch, throttle. So when I'm staging, I only have one hand on the wheel.
Jeez.
And then I swap feet, and then, you've got the shifter buttons here. And then the craziest thing to me when I started driving was when you hit top speed, 270 miles an hour, you then take your hand off the wheel and then throw the parachutes over here, which seems crazy, but they're amazing race cars, and it's an honor to be able to drive them, really.
Tell me, how was it to win the 100th female race in, where was that at?
Seattle.
In Seattle.
Yeah, so that was actually my first national event win. So we were in Seattle, and coming into the race prior to that, Norwalk, Ohio, that was basically up for grabs. There had been 99 different females that had won a national event. We were in the final round at Norwalk and lost. And that same weekend, there was another female that was in the final as well. So we figured that she was going to get it, but she ended up losing as well. So coming into Seattle, that was still open, and we were in the final round. And by winning that Seattle, my first ever national, it made me the 100th woman to ever win a national event, which was it was such an honor, because I just as easily could have been 99 or 101. It just worked out, and fortunately we won the race, which was just so amazing. But then to be basically carved into the record books as the 100th female is something I could have never dreamed of that. And I have to give props to the 99 others that it took to get there, because I just happened to be the lucky 100. But
did you know when you crossed the line that you won?
I knew that. Well, I didn't see the win light, which is crazy, because there's a win light on the wall, which usually you see it. But I drove it a little far past the finish line, because I think I don't know what. I just was really hoping that the win light would come on. I didn't see it, but besides the point. We have radios, and my dad told me we won, but I still didn't know I was the 100th woman to win. And then when I turned the corner, they had the big sign up, and it was a surreal moment. I can still envision the whole thing in my head. It's probably the best day of my life.
Because the last time that you guys were in last year, you guys were in that second place spot. Mm-hmm. And you guys ended up finishing second place.
Yeah.
So then you guys have your off season, and we're talking about top alcohol funny cars.
Yes.
Right? Which isn't necessarily like the top of the dragsters, right?
Correct. It's considered semi-pro, so it's the step below the professionals.
Okay. So now you go into your second year, mm-hmm. right? And tell me about how this year's played out. So this year we've struggled. Definitely, no secret there. We don't know exactly what's going on. We changed some, I'm gonna call it staging procedures. As opposed to leaving when I dropped the clutch, I used to rev it up to about 7,000 RPM. Then I watch the tree when it drops, I swap feet. As opposed to now, we do something a little bit different where I hold the clutch, I mat the gas, and it goes up to a certain RPM, kind of like a rev limiter. Mm-hmm. And then when I drop the clutch, the car leaves. Well, we had been playing around with that at the beginning of the year, and the car wasn't running very fast. We thought, it must be that. So we swapped back to revving up, and we've kind of been playing this cat and mouse game with swapping procedures, and we've kind of lost our baseline in doing that. And by doing that, we think we have found something that has been going away that had nothing to do with the staging. So we fixed that part, we think, and coming into Dallas, I leave tomorrow, but coming into Dallas, we've got a new tune-up in it. We've got a bunch of different stuff changed. So we're hoping we can get our speed back and our mile per hour back and our ET back. But we're honestly kind of in test mode right now, unfortunately. We never know. This thing just could go out there and haul butt, but we're kind of testing to get our speed back, really. So where are you guys at currently now?
Right now we are in, I want to say we're in 4th. Yeah, okay. We've dropped back pretty far. We were number 1 for a little bit of this year, and then we hung in number 2 for quite a while. But we've had a couple first round losses these past couple races, so we've been dropping back.
Keith, what is it like to watch her race? That you kind of have a hand in her success a little bit.
Not much. I don't think much in that, but I've known her for quite a while, and it's just kind of fun to watch anybody and succeed, and for her to just do what she does regardless of a particular win on that weekend or not. It's still it's amazing what she's done and will probably do in the future too. So it's a lot of fun.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I have something else too. I have 2 things actually. One, like Keith mentioned, I'm going to go back a little bit. The mental focus that drag racing takes is like unlike anything I've ever done. It's so much mental. You have a lot of, when you're in the car, you're by yourself, and you have that like time to just think when you're in the race car for those couple minutes before you actually hit the track. But it's a huge mental game. And I will say, like, going to the gym and being at the gym has, I don't know how, and you probably know how, but it really has increased my mental game to focus, which is a huge part, I think, in my driving and things like that. So I think that's one thing that really is beneficial to going to the gym, going to Kennedy and all that kinds of stuff. And then 2, we won in Seattle this year. And with each win you get a trophy, and then you get a jacket, or you can get a suitcase, but jacket is what most people get.
Or a suitcase.
Yes. And for this Seattle win, we actually gave our winner's jacket to Keith.
Also myself.
I showed it to him. Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, good. It's very special.
Yeah.
You only get one per win, and we really, we feel like, Keith's done a lot for me, not just in physical fitness, but softball, and he's actually the one who told me I need to get a professional Instagram, and I'm like, nobody wants to watch me coach, like, nah. But I really did. I listened to Coach after a couple of times of been telling me, and it's been really well, but it's been working really well. But anyway, it's just kind of a little shout.
How does the other racers receive you? I mean, you're now 21, right?
Yeah.
So you're obviously young. You're a female, and you got all these racers that are, have been in the circuit for quite some time. I mean, did they receive you as like, oh, she's not going to do anything, or were they like going, no, we should probably pay attention?
Well, as far as, I think that my sister and I, we came into it not just as your pretty girls with their hair curled in white shoes like I'm wearing right now. I don't wear this to the racetrack. But we came in as crew members. So, we came in and we worked our butts off. We're out there. We're going to the gym to get stronger because we're not as strong as the boys. So but that's not an excuse. We need to be stronger. So, we put in the work. We learned to put the engine together. We learned to do the clutch. When one of our the guy that we were supposed to race first round, he blew up his motor, and me and my sister are down there dropping the pan on his car, taking the rod caps off his engine to try and get them ready for the first round against us. So we weren't just your pretty girls that are standing on the side of the race car. We're into the race car. We're into the mechanics, and that's what we love. So I think that, I don't know if that's why, but I think that we did, gain respect from our fellow competitors because of what we love and the work that we do on the race car. But being a driver is not, it's completely separated from being a crew member. It's not the same. And coming in, I know that, people were never really negative. I don't want to say they were negative by any means, but definitely doubt, which I totally get. I absolutely get. This little tiny 5'0" blonde girl is really going to drive this alcohol funny car. But it was really cool to see people that I respected and have looked up to for so many years, come up to me and say I did a good job or correct me on these details as well that I need to work on. So I would say people have been super, super supportive, and it's the drag racing community is a supportive community, though. It's not like there's really not
a lot of
mean
animosity
people.
or
Not a lot of animosity. Yeah, they're nice people.
I grew up with my dad and brother into drag racing a lot. My dad raced a little, the local stuff in Bakersfield. And I didn't follow it as much as I got older. And then thanks to Maddi, I'm kind of back into it now, but I still, all the old names and stuff I still know. But I'd say just kind of following Maddi the last few years, I'm amazed how many women drivers are. There's so many now, and they're successful. It's not, like I said, it's not just because, this woman, she's attracted to put the car to get a sponsor or something like that. They win races. So, it's really interesting to watch the NHRA, how they've had so many female drivers come in, and obviously if you can't compete, they're not going to put you in a car. So, these women are competing and winning.
speaking of sponsors, so you guys have Beta.
Yes.
Beta motorcycles. I think there's some other stuff you promote, like your ranch fuel, right, and some other things.
Yeah. Beta is our primary sponsor, which they've been with us for this is the 6th year now, and I mean, huge shout out to Beta, because they came in 2020, and that is when we became a championship caliber car. Beta coming on board really turned our operation around. That was the first year my sister and I came in. We had Beta. It was just, they have done so much for our team. With their help, we're able to get the right parts, service the parts correctly, service them, have, backup parts. So if we hurt something, we're able to fix it, and we can go out there and compete with that backup part. So, I mean, Beta, they've been massive part to our operation.
Was that a game changer in terms of like the performance of like what you could afford or what the team could afford in terms of engine and extras to be competitive?
I mean, it helped a ton, definitely. It shows honestly, and it just shows with the results of our race car prior to 2020. We were a good car, and we definitely won some races. We had won, my family had won regional championships, and we had done well, but we were not a world championship car. And, we knew that. But 2020, we obviously, my family worked really hard, and we all put a lot of time in and effort, but we were able to, buy the right parts, service them correctly, and all that, everything it takes to be at the top with the top of our field. And it's just so cool to be surrounded with a team like Beta too. They're just awesome people, and they're an Italian-made motorcycle company, but their main distribution center is here in Paso. And then it's been cool. We've been able to go to some of their, we went to one of their Christmas parties, and we got to meet some supercross riders and some of their off-road riders and all that kind of stuff. So it's really cool to be a part of a team like that, which, when I get to cheer them on. They're in supercross. They'll be starting in January. So, we're part of that.
They get to meet you guys too.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of cool.
So you're coming to the end of your season in top alcohol, right? And so tell me what kind of change you're going to have in your future.
Yes, so we have big changes in my future and my family's future. So Ron Capps, he is a legend in our sport. He's won multiple world championships, and he's, very, very well respected in drag racing. And he is actually going to be my boss next year, and I will be his, teammate. But I will be driving Top Fuel for Ron Capps Motorsports next year, which is I can barely even say it because I smile too big. But it is just such an honor to be able to be partnered with Ron Capps and all of his partners and his team, because like I mentioned, he is so well respected
That's crazy.
in our industry, and he's from San Luis County. He used to coach racquetball at Kennedy.
See, it's a small, it's a circle of life thing.
Yeah.
It's circle of life.
Coming around, yeah.
Yeah, so it's amazing to be part of his team, and this is actually a year and a half in the works. He approached my dad last Seattle, which was when I won my first national event, became the 100th woman. It was that same weekend he asked my dad if I would be interested in driving Top Fuel for him.
What was your dad's answer? I mean, obviously it's, give our kids all the opportunity in the world, but it's still, you're driving for his team, their team.
I mean, but the opportunity that Ron was talking to him about was unheard of. In drag racing, and to be a professional, you have to bring a lot of money to get a professional ride, and we don't have that. We don't have what it takes to be a professional by paying. It's just we can't afford that. So we do what we can afford, and what Ron was approaching us with was, I don't need to bring the money that it takes to be a professional driver. He said he basically wants me to drive for him, and we're going to find the partners to make it happen. And I'm like, what? What? It's just an amazing opportunity. I get speechless when I talk about it, because it's truly life-changing. And coming down to the end, I mean, we're getting really close to the end of the season and getting really close to basically being part of Team Ron Capps Motorsports. I'll be basically done with my job here in December, and I'll be full-time with Ron. That'll be my full-time job next year, is driving professionally for Ron, sponsor appearances, wherever Ron is, I'll be with him. And so it's,
what a ride.
I know, I feel like I'm stuttering so much right now because I'm just so excited about it.
Well, I mean, this has all happened in 2 years.
So just to kind of put it in some sort of reference to it, can you tell the difference between what you drive now and what you will be driving, as far as the horsepower, the G-force, the times and speeds and all that?
Yeah.
Because just like I said, I used to watch it when I was a kid. So, a nitro funny car might be running, mid fives, and they're 220 or 30 miles an hour, which is she does now in an alcohol funny car. So I'm just like, football players get bigger and stronger, the cars get faster and faster and faster. So the top fuel car, the Dragster that she's going to, they're so fast. I don't know how you see where you're going. So
yeah. So right now I drive, like I mentioned, a top alcohol funny car. So we drive a quarter mile, which is 1,320 feet, 270 miles an hour in about 5.4 seconds. So this top fuel, the alcohol funny car is about 4,000 horsepower. The top fuel car is a dragster, so the engine will be behind me, as opposed to right now the engine is in front of me. So this top fuel car, we go 1,000 feet, and we go 340 miles an hour in about 3.7 seconds, and it is 12,000 horsepower.
My gosh.
So the one cylinder, which I think this is crazy, one cylinder in a top fuel engine is more horsepower than a NASCAR motor.
Wow.
and that's where I'm going to go back to the fitness side. That when I knew Maddi was doing it, it's like, I think it's so great she's putting effort into being a little bit stronger, a little bit fitter, and those kind of things. And I don't remember, and you probably know, because I read it not too long ago, but the G-force and
yes.
the
Because that's a lot of core.
and the top
right?
fuel dragster, it's like having a fighter jet out there, really. So you should be in shape.
Yeah. Yeah, it pulls, like the car I drive now, when I hit the gas, it pulls, I want to say it's around 3.5 Gs when I hit the gas, and then around -5 when I pull the parachute. But the top fuel car, and I need to get the exact numbers, I don't want to incorrectly speak, but I want to say it pulls around 8 Gs and then around -10 or 11 when you hit the parachutes.
So you don't breathe, right?
I'll let you know. I'll let you know. I don't know.
So you haven't even driven one yet?
Nope. I've never driven one. Ron's biggest focus since Seattle of last year was, you focus on your race car. We're going to handle this on our end, and we'll let you know when you need to know things. You're going to be on a need-to-know basis. I don't want you distracted. I don't want you thinking about this. We got it handled, and you focus on your family operation. So he made that very clear from the beginning, that he wants my priorities where they are right now with our family. And after Pomona, which will be in November, will be my last race in the funny car. And then we'll talk about when we're going to start testing and working on getting my license. So the thing is it's so cold, so I don't know exactly what our plans are. I'm sure Ron's got it figured out, but we're going to do some testing in the off season, but we're not sure exactly what the dates are.
Are you already preparing yourself for that last race in the family car?
Oh yeah, definitely. Pomona has a lot of emotions to it, just because it's like my home track. It's as close to home as we get. It's close to home as I drive, and I've been going there since I was a kid. And all I dreamed of, the highest I dreamed, was alcohol funny car, and the professional ranks wasn't even something I thought about as an option for me. It just didn't seem achievable. So the last race, I know it's going to be very emotional for myself, and I'm sure my family. But I couldn't have a more supportive team and family that it's going to help me through the process. And Ron and his whole team, Ron knows exactly where I am right now, because he came from where I am. He came from the sports and ranks, and he got recognized, and he did not have to bring money when he became a professional, which is unheard of. He got recognized as a good driver and good with his sponsors, and they took a chance on Ron, and Ron basically is doing the same thing for me. And I can't wait. Drag racing is my whole life, and it already is my whole life, but it's literally going to be my whole life, and I just can't wait to put 110% effort in and just go drag racing all year.
What happens with the beta team?
So, good question. So my dad is going to jump back in. So he's going to get back in the race car. He's going to drive, and then I will no longer be able to work on the car because I'll be with the Top Fuel car and the Top Fuel team. So actually, my sister's boyfriend Jake is going to be replacing me on the team. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, so he's as close to family as it gets. So basically, it'll be my grandma, my grandpa, my dad, my mom, my sister, and then Jake for our funny car team.
So will you work on your car next year?
No, that was one of the first things Ron told me was you will not work on this race car because he knows that's part of me right now. But
that's what you know.
That's what I know, but it won't be my job. So my job is going to be driving the race car and then, autograph signings and sponsors and appearances and things like that. That's going to be my focus. And being around Ron, he is busy all the time. I mean, he has like no spare time ever. He's just 24/7 on the go. So, and I know from working on the race car, I need full focus on working on the race car if I am doing a job. So it's just not feasible. I will be packing my parachutes though. He did say that. He's like, you do pack your own parachutes, but that's about it as far as at the track maintenance.
Those top teams that showed up, they're full crew chiefs, everything. So she'll have plenty of other stuff to do. So
yeah.
I mean, you're going to have to relinquish a lot of the stuff that you did that you're used to doing, before the race, the night before, the weekend before.
Absolutely. Yeah. I joke around because I'm like, when I'm at the races, my hands are dirty. That's just me. And if they're clean, I'm going to not know what to do with myself. So I've joked around. I'm like, hey, Dad, I might just come by your pit and, wipe my hands on the bell housing until I get my hands dirty. So I feel like I'm a little more at home, but the cool,
right here.
Right. The cool thing is my family will be at 10, if not more, of the events that I'm at. My dad will be driving at those events, so I will be with them a lot. Even though I won't be with them at every race, I'll be with them. And if I get done with the Top Fuel car early and I don't have anything to do, I can go over with my family and do a little bit of work if I want.
Okay, so there's nothing holding you back from kind of chipping in a little bit.
Yeah, not necessarily. I do have my priorities will be with Ron Capps Motorsports and making sure that I get everything done there that I need. But if I have extra time, I can go over there and work on the car if they need help or, just hang out.
Is Beta coming along with you too, or is that
They're with the funny car?
With the funny car with your dad?
Yeah. So that's. Betas, they love our family team, and that's something that they really have loved about us. So we don't want to absolutely take from our funny cars. So and Ron's made that very clear. We don't want the Top Fuel car to affect anything you have going with your family team.
How does that work? So starting in December or January, so now you're a professional driver. You're in the top leagues.
Yeah. It's really crazy for me to even think about, but basically driving Top Fuel is like making it to the NFL, the NBA, NASCAR, IndyCar. It's as high as it gets in drag racing. It is the fastest car in NHRA drag racing is the Top Fuel car. So it's crazy, and there's a lot of pressure, absolutely, as one would think. It's something that, I've already dealt with a lot of pressure being, with my family car and all that kind of stuff, and having sponsors that we want to, please and perform for. But this is definitely going to be a new level. And what's super cool is, like I mentioned, Ron's been exactly where I am right now. He's been in my shoes. He's came from the sportsman level to the professional level. So he's like, hey, it's a lot of pressure, but I'm going to help you through it. I've been exactly where you are, and we'll do it together. So, I feel very comfortable being,
So you're not scared?
I'm sure when I get close to hitting the gas, I'll start getting a little scared. But what I've heard from people and what I say also is if I'm scared to get in a race car, I will not get in it. Because it's if someone's driving scared, that's the worst thing ever. You know, you can't be afraid of your race car. You can be nervous or intimidated by your race car, but if you're scared of it, you should never get in it.
Now, have you had any dialogue with any, like, say, Brittany Force or, you know, any of these women that are already where you're going next year?
Yeah, I definitely have. Ida Zetterstrom, she's from Sweden, I believe. I could be wrong. But she is from, she's not from here, but she races here professionally. And she's been very, very nice and said, hey, if you need anything, if you need in-car camera videos, if you need help with anything, just let me know. So she's reached out a couple of times, which has been really cool. You know, Brittany Force, she said a couple of very nice things about my announcement and stuff like that. And she is, you know, she's done after this year, which I'm really bummed about because I was so excited to get to race against her in the top field class, but she's leaving to start a family, which I'm super happy for her. She's accomplished a lot, so it's really cool for her to take that next step in her life. But definitely had a couple people reach out and offer me, you know, help when needed, so it's been really cool.
Other than obviously winning the championship next year, what are like a couple of your goals for next year?
You know, right now, my number one goal is, of course, to do the best that I can. You know, of course, we want to win the championship. That's the ultimate goal, is winning the world championship. But I have a lot of learning to do, and I mean, I literally am dedicating my whole life to this top fuel career, and that's what I plan on doing, is dedicating every second I have to hitting the practice tree, working with our sponsor appearances, you know, being there when they need me for any kind of unveilings or, you know, just being present with our sponsors, our partners, and, you know, I want to be present with our team. I want to get to know our team. I want to be a team, and I'm really excited about all that. But definitely, as far as specific goals, I don't have any right now, except for, of course, we want to win the world championship. But until then, I'm going to focus on one step at a time. And right now, I don't have anything specific that I can really say I'm like striving for, except for the championship.
And will you be the youngest female driver?
To my knowledge, yes. I have not had that officially confirmed, but I do believe I would be the first. Now, don't quote me, but I need to confirm that. But I think I will be.
Wow, crazy! I mean, you're just here. I mean, so you'll come back though after you're professional. You're named. I mean, you're big. You're huge. Are you going to come back here on our show?
Yeah, well, Pass is my home. We'll see. You know, Indy is where our team will be based, in Brownsburg, Indiana, and I know I'll be spending a lot of time back there. So, you know, right now I'm stationed in Paso. You know, we'll see where life takes me. I never thought I'd make it here, but here I am. So,
wow.
Just kind of going where the wind takes me.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, this is awesome. You know, Keith, congratulations with you guys. 44 years.
Thank you.
You know, Kennedy, and so hopefully, I'm sure, because you got all your Zooms or your podcast or no, your what'd you call that thing? Boomerang, Instagram. I mean, those things are huge. So, you know, maybe it's a little workout too, you know, on the road.
Yes, definitely. You never know. Catch me working out in the grandstands, or
I want to see how well she does with the new schedule she has next year, which I'm sure she's still gonna have to learn. But because right now, anybody that follows her Instagram or anything like that, you can kind of get almost as soon as the race is over, as soon as, you know, what happens to her qualifying, on this, she does a great job like keeping people who are following her up to date for the weekend. It may not be that easy for you next year, because you probably got a lot going on in between. Well, but it's like that's how I'm living through that. So it's like you got to keep that up.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, we do have her name is Cassie. She does all of our pictures, and she does a lot of the media while we're at the racetrack, because I am so busy, and, you know, I don't have the time to do it at the racetrack. So she is amazing. She's great. So Cassie does a lot of that stuff for us, which is awesome. And we become good friends too. So it's pretty cool. I like Cassie.
So how can people follow you on your Instagram?
So I have Instagram, MaddieGordon.racing, and then I also have Facebook, Maddie Gordon Racing. So those are my only accounts. I don't have Twitter or X or anything like that. So those are my 2 accounts that you can follow me on and keep up to date. Now I have a question for both of you guys though.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
He's taller.
Okay. Okay, where do you know when you go to like the donut store, right? And you can like get your donut, your maple donut or whatever, and then you have like donut holes they'll throw in, right?
Okay. I'm dying to know where this is going.
Where do the donut holes come from?
From the center of the donut.
Oh no! Okay, well,
The hole. That's the whole name of it.
okay, well, if there's donut holes, why is there not bagel holes?
Because there's no hole in the middle of the bagel.
Yes, there is.
No.
Right?
There is hole in the middle of the bagel.
Don't they put like stuff in them?
No.
So where do they come from?
Well, they come from the center of the donut, but I sound so dumb right now, but we did not know that. And then we got thinking, well, why don't they have bagel holes? We might become rich off this. You know
This
what I mean?
could be the question of the century. This
it
is
is.
something that we might have
Like a
to.
bagel sponsor for the top
Right.
fuel car. Maybe a bagel hole sponsor.
Bagel hole sponsor.
Yeah, a whole shot. Look at the whole shot.
There you go.
There you go.
Whoa,
shot.
coach.
Sir,
There you go.
Holy moly, we're gonna get you to NHRA advertising. Woo!
So Ron's with Napa.
Yes.
Are they carrying over? Do you know completely if they're carrying over? They're going to be sponsored for the top fuel.
I do know, but I can't say yet.
Okay.
We'll have
So
some
she knows
announcements.
stuff that she can't tell us.
I do. We'll have a big announcement coming in November.
Awesome.
Yes.
After Pomona.
Before Pomona. Yes.
Very cool. Well, thanks for coming on.
Yes,
Thanks for.
thank you, guys.
I'm super excited for you. Can't wait to see where you go, how it plays out next year.
Yes. Thank you
Sure.
for having me. It's
Yeah, for sure.
really cool.
You know,
welcome.
she mentioned something about earlier that I didn't get to say anything about. She gave me that jacket. So I intend to go to, hopefully go to Pomona for a last race, because I mean, if I'm sorry, I walk around with this nice jacket on and it says the jacket has my name on it and everything. Thank you so much. So I feel like I'm like important.
You
So
are.
I gotta go to a race that's cold, because this is a nice heavy duty jacket. So I gotta race, have some cold weather so I can look like I belong.
Yeah.
What's up, North County could put a camera in there for the last race.
Whoa, we're getting big now.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks for coming on. Keith, Kennedy Club Fitness, 3 locations: Paso, Tascadero, and San Luis.
Yes, sir.
And we got specials this month, so get in there,
Yeah.
check them out.
Yeah, we're having stuff all month long. Little events in the evening, membership special, like I mentioned earlier. So you have a lot going on this month. Celebration month.
Awesome. Well, congratulations
Thank
again,
you.
and pass that information from us to you guys. We appreciate you guys being a sponsor as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. Maddie,
Cool.
good luck.
Yes.
And can't wait to see what happens next year.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Well, there you have it, guys. Hey, make sure if you guys want to follow Macie Gordon as she moves up into the professional top fuel dragsters. That's going to be awesome. We can't wait to see where it goes. And you're looking at working out, look up Kennedy Club Fitness. But as always, guys, we can't do this without you and our sponsors. We'd like to thank Esplar Wine Travelers Hideaway, Visit Atascadero, 805 Custom, MGP Coating, Premier Ag, Trailer Barn, Story Termite Pest Control, Borhone Auto Center, Airflow Filter Services, Templeton Heating and Air, and of course, Kennedy Club Fitness. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you next time. When it comes to comfort, trust the team that's been keeping the North County homes cozy since 1995. At Templeton Heating and Air Conditioning, they're your hometown pros right here in Templeton. From tune-ups to repairs, remodels to new construction, even duct replacements and attic ventilation, they got you covered. Call your neighbors at 805-434-3741. Templeton Heating and Air Conditioning. Local, trusted, dependable.
Hi, I'm Glenn McWilliams.
And I'm Annie. As sixth-generation farmers, we understand what it takes to keep a ranch, a farm, and a community growing strong.
And that's why we started Premier Ag, to bring quality feed, trusted Western wear, and real service to the Central Coast.
From hay delivery across the county to hands-on support for local youth and ag programs, we're proud to give back to the community that raised us.
And when we say from seed to stable, we mean it. We've walked the fields, we've fed the animals, and now we're here to serve families just like yours.
Come visit us at 1041 Paso Robles Street in Paso Robles and experience the difference of a store built by farmers for farmers.
From seed to store, where quality meets country.
Hi, this is Dave Story, small game hunter with Story Termite and Pest. We're a full-service termite and pest control company. From rodents to termites, we can take care of all your pest control needs. Call today. We can tailor a pest control program that will meet your needs and budget. Contact us at 805-460-0650 or at storytermite.com. Remember, we don't have customers, we have friends.
Looking for a top quality concrete coating in SLO County? Hi, I'm Matt Gifford with MGP Coatings, your trusted local expert in durable, long-lasting concrete coatings backed by Pentec's limited lifetime warranty. Whether it's residential or commercial, we deliver expert craftsmanship, premium products, and unbeatable customer service. When we say we make concrete great again, we mean it. As a locally owned, community-driven company, we take pride in transforming garages, patios, pool decks, wineries, and even interior spaces into stunning, functional areas. Are you ready to upgrade your space? Give us a call at 805-952-5301. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or visit mattgiffordpainting.com. Join the MGP Coating family today.
What's up, North County? This is Teresa Branch with Airflow Filter Service. We are a family-owned business right here in the North County. We have air filters, oils and lubricants, and hydraulic hoses. We provide services that include air filter cleaning, DPF cleaning, and waste oil collection. Come check us out at 1140 Ramada Drive, and we can help you with all your automotive and industrial vehicle needs.
Atascadero isn't your standard getaway. We're unique, just like you. We're growing, transforming, and figuring it out as we go. We're a town filled with innovators, artists, makers, and game changers. We're a little bit country, a little bit funky, and always authentic. We're here for your good times, your slow times, and your changing times. We're all in Atascadero. Come see for yourself. Learn more at visitatascadero.com.
What's up, North County? I'm your host, Randy Doty, and today we have two very special guests here. We have Keith Swank with Kennedy Club Fitness, and we have Macie Gordon, professional, soon-to-be